What if I told you that hundreds of people once danced themselves to death, and no one could explain why? It wasn't a party. It wasn't a festival. This happened in the middle of a hot summer in 1518, in a quiet European town. One woman started dancing in the street, then more joined her. Dozens, then hundreds. No music, no joy. Just people trapped in a rhythm they couldn't stop. Some thought it was sickness. Others blamed sin. But to this day, we still don't really know what happened. This is one of history's strangest events, and it's 100% real. Back in the summer of 1518, something strange happened in the city of Strasbourg. It wasn't war. It wasn't a plague in the usual sense. But the streets burned with something no one could explain. It started with just one woman. No music, no celebration, just her, dancing alone in the heat. At first, people watched. Then more joined her, a few, then dozens, then hundreds. They danced until they collapsed. Some bled through their shoes. Some died from exhaustion. The city's leaders tried everything, medicine, prayers, even live musicians. Nothing worked. History remembers battles and kings, but sometimes the strangest stories are the ones with no answers. In 1518, hundreds danced themselves to death. No one knows why. And that summer in Strasbourg reminds us the human mind can break in ways we still don't fully understand. A city possessed, the 1518 dancing plague. What happened in Strasbourg that year is one of the most bizarre moments in history. A real event that almost sounds like fiction. This is the story of a forgotten outbreak. It was a brutally hot day. People stayed indoors to escape the sun, but on a narrow street, a woman named Frau Troffea stepped outside. She looked like any ordinary housewife until she began to move. At first, it was just her foot, tapping, then both feet, then her arms. There was no rhythm, no music, just strange, jerky dancing, like something inside her had taken control. Her husband, Herr Troffea, watched from their doorway. "Liesel, come back inside. You look unwell." But she didn't stop. She couldn't. Her movements were stiff, almost violent, like her body was no longer hers. Neighbors gathered, confused. A young girl named Elsa watched quietly. "Is she sick?" someone whispered. "Must be the heat," said another. But deep down, everyone felt something was wrong. 3 days passed. Still Frau Troffea danced. Her feet were raw and bleeding. She collapsed sometimes, but always got back up. By then, more people had joined her, dozens. City officials met inside the guild hall. Herr Troffea stood before them, looking helpless. "She hasn't eaten. She barely sleeps. I tried to stop her. She just keeps dancing." Dr. Ludwig, the city's top doctor, had a theory. "This is a medical issue," he said confidently. "It's caused by too much hot blood in the brain. The body is trying to sweat it out. The solution? Not rest, not treatment, but more dancing."
"We must help them finish the dance. Let's give them music, a stage. They will heal by dancing harder."
The city magistrate liked the sound of control. He approved the plan. The dancing stage. A stage was built in the center of town. Musicians were hired. The dancers, now over 100, moved day and night. Some collapsed and were carried away. Others took their place. This wasn't a celebration. It was something darker. People watched, unsure what to think. Elsa saw a boy she knew, a young carpenter, dancing with tears streaming down his face. He looked terrified but couldn't stop.
Magistrate Kobus stood nearby, watching uneasily.
"Are you sure this is working?" he asked the doctor.
Absolutely. The fever is peaking. Soon it will burn out. But even as people died on stage, the music continued, and the crowd kept growing. The city breaks. By the second week, hundreds were dancing. The city was overwhelmed. Some musicians quit. Others were forced to continue. People died from heart attacks, strokes, pure exhaustion. Frau Troffea was still dancing. Barely conscious, she moved like a ghost, her body thin, her feet wrapped in bloody cloth. The doctor vanished. His theories failed. A priest stepped forward. This isn't an illness. It's a curse, a punishment. They're not sick. They're possessed. He suggested a pilgrimage to the shrine of Saint Vitus, the patron saint of dancers and those plagued by strange illnesses. We must take them to the mountains. Maybe God will forgive us. With no better ideas, the city agreed. The pilgrimage. They loaded the dancers onto wagons like cattle. Even inside the cramped carts, their limbs still moved. Elsa watched from the roadside as they passed. She saw the carpenter, barely conscious, still kicking. Then she saw Frau Troffea. For a moment, their eyes met. It was the only time Elsa saw anything human behind the woman's blank stare. Then the moment passed, and she went back to moving, like a puppet with cut strings. The wagons rolled on, toward the hills. The aftermath. 3 months later, the summer heat had passed. The city was quiet again, but not normal. Something had changed. People spoke softly. They avoided the square. Elsa walked the same street where it all began. She passed Herr Troffea, sitting alone. He was whittling a piece of wood in silence. "Some came back," he said. "And your wife?" Elsa asked. "They said she died on the road, but I think she was already gone. She just didn't know how to stop." He paused. "Doctors said it was blood. Priests said it was sin. Others blamed poisoned bread. But I saw her face. She wasn't cursed. She wasn't crazy. She was trapped, in a rhythm no one else could hear." Elsa nodded, pulling her shawl tighter, not from cold, but from memory. History remembers battles and kings, but sometimes the strangest stories are the ones with no answers. In 1518, hundreds danced themselves to death. No one knows why. And that summer in Strasbourg reminds us the human mind can break in ways we still don't fully understand. A city possessed. The 1518 dancing plague. Think you've had a bad meal? In the Middle Ages, food wasn't just bland, it could literally kill you. Spoiled meat, mystery stews, and bread that caused hallucinations, and that was if you were lucky enough to eat at all. Forget about forks, hygiene, or even flavor. Medieval dining was a gamble. In the next video, we're diving into the shocking truth about what people really ate back then. And trust me, it's nothing like the feast scenes you've seen in movies. You might never complain about your dinner again.